Chris is way calmer on a podcast than he is in a chair at a dual meet or the NCAA.
I don't think he spends much time in a chair, does he, Stewie?
We got a fun show tonight. We're gonna have Chris Perry on from Iowa State. We got a little bit of Iowa State chatter yesterday, but we're gonna get to talk to Chris Perry, so this is gonna be fun. I'm super excited about it. But beforehand, we want to cover our basis and get to some Illinois wrestling stuff. And in particular, we've got some college commitments. We've been missing a few of them. So, Jim, you said you had something.
Yeah, I got Lyndon Teese from Roxana. He'll be he committed to Maryville, which is I think Mark Stewart said before when we were talking about visits. Mark said Maryville makes sense because it's close to him. Is that
it's
right over? Okay.
Yeah. Maryville is close.
I think you said before it was a real good wrestling school as well, right?
Yeah. So Maryville. Well, yeah, Mark, you can tell the story about Maryville if you know it.
So basically, is the Nebraska program that was cut. What was that? Nebraska.
Omaha.
That was Mike Denny. Was that his name? Yeah, he was like one of the best coaches in the country. It's just a storied program, and cut the program. What's his name did over? They cut the program, and then he sent it down to Maryville. He took his boys down to Maryville, and they've been there for years. I believe it's D2, or is it I?
It's D2.
D2. Yeah. St. Louis, and that's real close to Roxana.
Yeah.
I got another one. Jackson Mathena.
He just visited.
Oh, okay.
He just visited Bellarmine. He's still.
Same with like AJ Tack. I think they all were just visiting. They're just they're not committed. They just were on a visit this weekend.
All right. Who all went to Bellarmine for a visit?
I saw in the picture. I saw Isaac Mayora, younger brother of David, and Infidel. We talked about them before, but I forget who else. Who else was there? I mean, it might have been some out of state kids as well, but I saw the Montini guys, AJ Tack and Fidel or Mayora.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Bellarmine. Everybody calls it Bellarmine. It's pronounced Bellarmine. They made a really good hire this year for an assistant coach. They brought in Brayton Lee, who wrestled at Minnesota and 1 year at Indiana after he was kind of done. I think he just won a big-ass tournament in freestyle in Russia this past year. So they brought in Brayton Lee as an assistant coach, along with Murphy and Ned Shuck. And as a first-year NCAA program, they had two NCAA qualifiers last year. AJ Rallo, and somebody else I forget. So, yeah, I think they're definitely on the come-up. They did beat Northern Illinois, I believe.
They did. They did beat them.
Big things, and good for them.
Yep. And then, so who did we say did commit? Who committed to from
Kamloof?
Loof. Yeah. And you mentioned him, right? That was on.
Not yet. Yeah, he went to George Mason. He's going to go to George Mason.
And that is a commitment.
Yep. And there was who else committed to George Mason just recently? We talked about him.
Gotta get a list.
That's a 2026.
Yeah. Yep. Danny Goodwin.
Ooh.
Danny Goodwin. You might have been absent that day, Mark, when we talked about it.
Is he still fighting?
Does he fight even, or is that just me making stuff up?
I don't know, but he did a really good job selling me on it, so I believe it now.
Yeah.
He sold you on it?
Somebody tell me if that's true.
Told me like 20 times. Does MMA. There is amateur MMA stuff for kids.
Yeah. Does he have a little brother?
That's a good question.
If he has a little brother, I think that's the one that does. I'm not sure. What were you going to say there before Mark ran you over?
No, I was going to ask Stewie a question. Who's the feeder programs for Roxana? Is it Bethalto Bulls? Or is there more down there?
I think a lot of those kids, Basalt Bulls definitely, and then some of them wrestle at King Select. Some of them wrestle
Yeah,
at
there you go.
PSF.
Okay. Some of them might be Perler kids too, right?
Yeah, I would just go to PSF.
Daisy Fresh.
Daisy Fresh, dude. Michael Pixley, good as they get, man.
Yep.
But that's fairly new, right? In the last 5 years or so?
Yeah.
Give or take 5 years?
Yeah. Is Sammy Henson still that close to that area?
No, he's in. Well, I don't know. He's in Missouri, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
30 minutes from there, and then they actually travel quite a bit. From Roxana to get to Mount Vernon is not close. It's a good hour drive.
Yeah.
To get to PSF, because PSF Daisy Fresh is out of a laundromat in Mount Vernon, Illinois, an old laundromat.
Yeah.
Well, they moved. No, they got a nice building now.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, I thought you said they were. I'm sorry. I thought you said they were.
Well, they originally were out of a laundromat.
Yeah. I watched that.
Yeah, Jim was all in on that thing.
I watched that documentary on YouTube. Like I watched it from beginning, start to end. I was on vacation. That's what we were doing the building. We were working on the big building, so I was on vacation, so I could get into some stuff. And dude, I got wrapped up in this, man. I watched it from the beginning to end.
Well, we made the building way too nice, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
That thing is clean compared to where they were working out on. Yeah, well, let's I mean, like I said, we're gonna get ready here. Chris Perry's gonna join. I just wanted to get in earlier so that we could kind of get nice and loose. And yeah, any other thoughts, any other ideas that are in your minds from yesterday? I was pumped about yesterday's podcast. I thought it went well. I'm sure I haven't seen any feedback or anything like that, but I'm sure people enjoyed it.
Oh, for sure. I think that when we have these coaches from these elite programs on, that Nick Miller and Matt Webster were part of what Brian Medlin did from pretty much the beginning. If you were around then, and so this isn't like new. This has been going on for what they've been doing. Has been going on for 15 years, and it's not going to stop. They continue to develop good kids through their feeder program. Yes, some kids move there. Well, you know why? Because it's a good program. That's why they move there. But I love hearing some of the insight and just their thought processes from coaches such as, Nick Miller, Sparty Chino, and, hopefully more. Some of these programs have had sustained success. There's also great coaches at podunk schools that you know nothing about, that just the kids will tell you 30 years from now how important that man was to them. But there's people like Nick Miller who will also win and be important to kids 30 years later. So it's always great to hear from their thoughts.
Yeah. No, I like getting the coaches on. That's fun. That's neat. It's interesting, I guess,
Yeah. Well, another thing we can talk about before Chris Perry comes on is Donnybrook is coming up this weekend. It's on Friday and Saturday in Iowa. It's where in it's in
it's at the Extreme Center is what they call
it.
In Coralville,
yeah.
Which is next to Iowa City. So it's at the University of Iowa. And yeah, you guys were there last year, right, Jim?
No, because last year was at the same. Well, did the team go last year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the same time as Ironman last year.
Yep, I remember now.
So Jimmy didn't go last year. I didn't go, obviously, because they were at Ironman instead. And that's when Tennyson was still. I think Tennyson still had a cast on this early. Tennyson didn't get his cast off until after Christmas this time last year.
It was Abe's. What didn't the first matches he wrestled was at Abe's, wasn't it?
Yep. Because he didn't even know he was going to be back for Abe's.
Yeah, I think a lot of people forget that Braden missed a long part of wrestling. When did he get hurt? Elite Eight Duels?
Yep. So in July.
Yeah.
Right? Or June, July. Yeah. No, in the end, Elite Eight's in July, is it not?
August, I think,
August?
because July's Fargo.
Be out 6.
Yeah, okay.
Did they move the tournament? Did they move the tournament, or did Ironman move? What changed? Because clearly something changed, right?
I don't know. I don't know because I don't know
Same
what
with the
last year.
But because the Washington tournament's different too, I guess. So I was curious if they changed Ironman, because maybe Ironman was like the 22nd. They must. I don't know. I don't remember.
I'm not sure.
I think it did move. I think it did move a week, at least a week.
And I know this year, which one moved, Ayler?
Ironman. Didn't
Ironman? I don't know. It may have, because this all the New Jersey teams that were not allowed to compete at Ironman now are allowed to compete. So that might have something to do with it.
So who won it last year?
Yeah, I'm listening. I'm going to pull up Donnybrook from last year. I'm going to try to pull up Donnybrook from last year.
He's looking at team scores from 2024.
Bettendorf won last year.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, now we're going to bring on Chris Perry. I figured I'd give us a little credentials before he gets in here, but two-time NCAA champion for Oklahoma State University, one of 10 four-time Big 12 conference champion. So 4-time conference champ. That's pretty big. So I'm excited to bring him on, chat a little wrestling with a lifetime wrestler. So Chris Perry, what's up, man?
How you guys doing?
Good.
We're doing good. We're just hanging out, doing a little podcasting during the week, some wrestling. We're talking Donnybrook wrestling, going out to Iowa this weekend.
Okay.
Out in your country right now, the great state of Iowa. How do you like Iowa so far? Now, because you've lived in Oklahoma for most of your life, right?
Yeah, I've lived there basically my whole life, and then the first time I've left. But Iowa's been good. It was a smooth transit. Kind of a small town like Stillwater, so it was easy for us to make that transition. And the only difference is it's damn cold.
Yeah. So, how much snow does it get? Any snow in Stillwater?
No, you'll get mostly ice, and when it gets ice, pretty bad there. But they'll get a little bit, but not like here now. No way.
Yeah, Iowa, they probably got drenched with snow this last week.
Oh yeah, I think we got 10 inches.
Yeah. Yep. Well, welcome to Iowa, Illinois weather. So Chris, you're at Iowa State. You are a coach on the Cyclone Regional Training Center, correct?
Yes. Yep.
And so what is your role, I guess, day-to-day wise with the Regional Training Center?
Basically, I really work with just individuals quite a bit. Just making sure I get my hands on them and giving them, the best looks that I can give them. And with also, helping around, bringing some guys in and working with them, getting ready to just kind of get to know some of these kids that are coming or that we're recruiting.
And so one thing I wanted to talk about before we get in a little of what happened this last week and what that kind of the implications from that and everything, but I wanted to learn a little bit more about you, right? Like I know your brother a little bit. I've spent time with your brother, but I want to know what it was like for you to be his younger brother. So what was it like being in the Perry household as the youngest, right? You're the young, are you guys the only siblings?
No, I have a sister. She's the youngest.
Okay.
Right? So, it wasn't just that, really just a family deal. We got 13 national titles family. So it was definitely challenging, I was kind of the last one coming. Like, if I don't win one, basically I'm a failure. So, there was pressure there, Mark getting 2, and then we're just competitive, and him being in the finals 3 times, he getting 2, big deal for us. There was a lot of pressure behind it. I think I put pressure on myself after Mark getting it. Mark wasn't much of a pressure guy. He'd go out there and just go flop all over the place and throw himself around, high flyers. He didn't wrestle tight ever. He was kind of a gunslinger, and I was solid, basic. I kept to the fundamentals. To be honest with you, I was probably more Iowa than he was. He's probably more Oklahoma. Just, after I won the first one, a lot of pressure went off me. I think when Andrew Howe came back and he went to my weight, I think it gave me a new challenge, and it really excited me to compete for the second one. He was the man. He was a badass, and it was like when he came up to my weight, I was like, all right, this isn't a game anymore. Like, I won the first one. Those guys were good, but they're not on this level. So it really helped me just jump levels and really dial in on being a professional a little bit more in areas, mentally and emotionally, I think. I stopped worrying about just winning. I'm like, if I'm going to beat this guy, I'm going to have to go to hell and high waters. Like, this isn't like, oh, I'm just better. I believed I was better than everybody. my junior year, I was just wrestling really tight. My senior year, I knew Andrew was better than me, and I was going to have to prepare for him, harder than anybody I've ever prepared for.
Yeah. And you have any like stories from, that senior year? Like, obviously, I didn't mention this, but you mentioned a little bit of like how many national titles were in the family. You're the nephew of John Smith, right? So John Smith was also your coach. So that dynamic was probably pretty interesting as well, separating the uncle and the coach, but also knowing like how hard it is to win at that level. Like, what were some of those thoughts and conversations about?
There was one, just one moment that really stuck out. I think John did a pretty good job of mentally keeping me on edge. Really hard, but in a good way, I think. After I won the first one, I really, really was over it. Like, I was drained from the pressure of just trying to win it. And my motivation for the next year wasn't there until Hal came into my weight. But I really still was kind of like, okay, this guy's going to kick my ass probably. Like, I kind of doubted myself. Like, I already won one, and all the pressure was kind of like, I don't even want to really do this much. And then when I went to OU and he beat me pretty good, John basically said everything in the book to me on the bus in front of the team and mother F me and this and that. And he said some things that got under my skin pretty hard. I mean, which really rattled me. And then I was like, all right, listen, don't talk to me the rest of the year. This guy's dead. Like, he knew what he was doing. He clicked some buttons that really pissed me off. And I was like, don't you just stay away from me. I'll beat him by myself. And he knew what he did. And at the end of the year, because I hated him for a lot of the things he said, and they were personal, but he knew I was too comfortable with, like, all right, this guy's better than me. And when he hit those buttons, it was like, all right, it's on. And he knew what he did. After I won, I realized what he did, and he was laughing at me. He's like, I didn't care if you hated me or not. I knew what I did. He goes, it was the only way to really get you motivated and pissed off. And I could see that you were like, all right, I already got one. I was almost taking a back seat to second.
Yeah. And like, in the moment, you didn't know that he was pushing you and stuff, but like, obviously, I think that's an interesting dynamic to go wrestle for your uncle, knowing that it's like, you're trying to win in a wrestling match, but he's kind of family. So, like, do you guys have holidays and stuff together?
We did for a while. No, I haven't been back, since I left Oklahoma State. So, ever since then, no, I haven't been back. I normally just go see my wife's family and then my parents, and then I'm getting back.
Well, I guess I was curious about during like wrestling season and stuff, like how do you go to a family event without talking wrestling?
You don't. My mom has 10 brothers and sisters, so we have 100 family members. So it's like the damn Tulsa Nationals are going on in the living room with little kids. So there's some wars. I mean, there's everybody's got their grandkids there, and then we have a damn national tournament right in the living room. It's no joke. We're too busy watching the little kids fist fight and see who's crying or bleeding or something. But it's definitely, you're not getting around talking wrestling.
Yeah.
I have a question that's not wrestling, but I don't know that a lot of people know it, but your cousin is JT Real Muto, right? Yeah. So he's like, I'm a big baseball guy myself as well as wrestling. He wrestled growing up though too, correct?
Yeah, he wrestled for a little bit, but he was smart enough to know that he was a better athlete than all of us. So I'm gonna go make more money than you guys. I mean, he was always a good athlete, and he was a damn good football player. He could have played college football pretty much at a lot of schools. So his story is he won 4 state titles in football as a quarterback, 4 in baseball, and 4 in basketball. So he really, he wanted everything he did. And I don't think he was in love with wrestling. His sister played softball at Oklahoma State, so she was like a 3-time All-American. They grew up baseball people. Dad was a good baseball player, so he's always been a damn good athlete.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eler, you got any questions for
No,
Chris?
I'm soaking it up. I just want to be a fly on the wall at these family functions. That's all.
Yeah.
Like Smith fanatic. I was like when your brother went to Blair Academy, and I'm not going to talk about your brother because we got you on, but I just wonder, like for you as his little brother, was it a good thing, a bad thing for you, not for Mark, but just for you in Stillwater to be on your own?
It was different. It was hard because you have an older brother, you look up to him, and you kind of he guides you, but he beat the living shit out of me growing up too. So I was kind of like, this is sweet. He's gone. No more ass whippings. So there was a good thing and a bad, but just growing up having that leadership, and just having that guy to watch and follow, it was hard for me. It was really hard for me. And then me and my sister are about a year apart, so we headbutted the hell out of each other all the time. And we argued, and so just having that other sibling that's a little bit older to guide you, it was tough for sure. And then definitely when he went to Iowa, I was like, I thought he was coming back, so I'm like, oh, I'll get to spend time with him. And then he went to Iowa, and I'm like, dude, I'm not going to see this guy for like 10 years, and he hasn't been back since. So kind of, it's been a good thing, and just for both of us to kind of build a relationship in a different way. He's been kind of the middleman for me. Like, I had John coaching me and my dad here in Stillwater, and I'm getting an earful from them, and I could call him and he could give me like a different perspective a little bit, and not just like a brother, like quit being a big ass baby and get your ass out there. That's what I was getting here at Stillwater. And he was just kind of like, listen, dude, just get yourself ready for March, focus on this, and kind of more of the confidence builder for me, and mostly or later in my career.
Yeah. You mentioned a little bit before how your style kind of resembled maybe more of a Iowa style than Mark's did. With him going to Iowa, was there ever a thought for you to go somewhere else?
Penn State when he was coaching there. I actually I actually left Stillwater for the first time, and I went up there, and it was homecoming for them, and Kale wasn't there yet. It was Sunderland. It was homecoming weekend. They were undefeated, like 11-0 in football. So it was like that place was going nuts, and I had never left Stillwater, so this was like Mardi Gras for me. And I got up there, and I'm like, I'm committing. And after this football game, and they're looking at me like it was that easy. And I came back and I told my parents or my mom, and she basically called John, and she was all upset, and she said, hey, come up to my work. And I was basically told her I'm going to Penn State with Mark. And she said, come up to my work. And I'm like, she's like, I just need to talk to you. I'm upset. And I went up there, and John's sitting in the office. I was like, this is crap.
It was a coup.
And then 2 hours later, I was committed to Oklahoma State. So it was a nice little trap.
Well, so I guess maybe this might be a question for Mark then. How did they not get Mark to stay?
Johnny Hendricks.
A lot of it was Johnny was here, right? And he was a little bitter, he trained all summer here with Johnny and Espo and all those guys when he was a junior in high school, and they all had a plan to go to Fargo, and Mark said, I'll go 160. Johnny said, I'll go 52. And Esposito said, I'll go 45. That was the plan. Or maybe Johnny was going to go 71 or something. They were all going to go different ways because they all trained together all summer. And Mark gets to Fargo, and Johnny's at his weight. And he's like, this son of a bitch, I trained with you all summer, and you just cut down to my weight. And it's number one. Like, now it's on, And then Oklahoma State got him, and they had Pendleton there, and not too many people want to go wrestle two-time national champs off to make a team. Even if you beat them, it's still not a fun wrestle off.
Yeah.
And then they ended up wrestling in the national finals as a freshman. Mark was a freshman. He was a sophomore. So I think it was just like hey, listen, I'm not doing this, whether you like it or not. I'm not going to say I want 4 shots at this thing, and you guys kind of took them over me. So let's do it.
Yeah. Yep. Well, speaking of, I think this is a great transition into the last weekend. So you're at Iowa State, and this weekend, Iowa State beats Iowa in the Cy-Hawk duel for the first time in 20 years. huge I don't know, huge momentum shift in the program at Iowa State. Obviously we all have like a connection to Iowa State now with Jimmy committing to go there, and we're excited about it. But what was the vibe from the program, the staff, the coaches, the team going into the duel, and then just kind of after too?
To be completely honest with you, we got some maturity on this team, and we got some guys that have been there and done it at the national tournament. So they got a little chip on their shoulder. Even the guys that lost, like Steve-O and even Isaac Dean. It's just like they got a little chip. Like they ain't scared of shit. But they're also 24 years old, and they're been in this game 6 years, so they've already been through the ups and downs of failure and this. And I think what really excited me about them is that, they were game for it. Like they weren't scared of the moment. You got Rocky coming out and he says, I want to be the last match. And I'm like, you want to be the last match? I mean, it's going to come down. It can come down to you. And if we need bonus points, you got to be that dude. Like, I don't give a damn if he's ranked 4th or not. We don't pick the last guy. I mean, we don't put you last unless we know we got to have somebody like that, because we could do it with younger too. So I saw a lot of excitement, a lot of confidence we were going to win. I mean, we train hard, but we train smart. I think that's a big deal. That and we train. Our goal is to develop, and I felt like going into this dual meet, I thought we were the better team from the get-go. I didn't even work. I mean, even though some matches went otherwise, I just felt offensively, I felt tactically, and I felt like we trained smarter than them a little bit. I mean, I think national duels, I was kind of interested to see with us taking, only having one match against Kearney and them getting 4 good ones in. Like, are they going to be more prepared than us because we took a week off in between? Like, I was kind of interested to see how that worked out, and it looked like we were the fresher team. And it looked like the maturity of our guys not having matches under their belt wasn't a problem. Like, if those are freshmen, you want them to have 4 or 5 matches before they jump in the Cyhawk duel. These guys got, 80 matches in college already. So it was like, they're like, it don't matter if we take a week off in between. We'll just train and get ready to go. So the moment wasn't too big for them. I really saw that with this team. The maturity level younger was, we got a lot of leadership up top, those are 3 seniors to end the dual meet, and pretty damn good seniors, all top 8 guys. Last year we didn't have one guy in the top 20 up top, so younger getting hurt, and so just having some maturity up top is big to end a dual meet. Knowing, I got seniors up there to wrestle and win, not a true freshman or a redshirt freshman who's his second match in college, and here comes a senior out at him. So.
Yeah, it definitely. Yeah, everything you said it looked from my end exactly. None of them were afraid of the moment, for sure. That's a great phrase to describe some of those matches. And obviously, Gaitan, that was one of the examples of that. I think he was looking for that opportunity to win, and yeah, what a match to go out and wrestle. I mean, we were talking to these guys in the text, and Patrick Kennedy is a very, very good wrestler. He's very fundamental. He's very consistent. He does the same things over and over again. And Gaitan just kept pulling him out of that. He kept pulling him out of what he wanted to do, making him wrestle in the positions that Gaitan wanted to wrestle in. And it wore him out. It took the life out of him. And
this week with Gaitan going into it, our preparation, me and Derek, John worked with him quite a bit. Derek does most of the stuff on his feet with him, but it just some tactical stuff that I had wrestling him with Oklahoma State guys in the past. I knew the positions to put him, but we made it really personal with MJ. Like, listen, we're gonna fist fight this son of a bitch, and that's it. Like, we're gonna get out here and we're gonna swing at him and make him shoot in there, and then we're gonna put him in positions he don't want to be in. But you're gonna have to embrace that you want to fight him, like fist fight him. Like you're gonna have to stay in there and pull on his head back and swing at him, and push and pull. Like, you're going to spend 5 minutes of the match doing that, whether you like it or not. And that's not your style to be a banger and a brawler, but you're going to have to do it because he's going to force you to do it. And the other 2 minutes, we're going to put him where he don't want to be. When he gets over aggressive and starts getting anxious, he's going to dive in there, put him in a scramble. He's not a good scrambler. Yeah. And I think once we got him with that first one, he panicked, and And then I knew the big deal that we were working on was the ride out. We knew if we were going to throw the legs in, we needed to do it now because he wasn't ready for it. And we studied it all week. Once you get the legs, I had Wyatt Sheets wrestling back in the day when I was at Oklahoma State. We got the legs on him and rode him for two minutes. So it's I knew when you put him in those kind of scrambly athletic positions, it's going to favor us.
Yeah.
So there was a quick question for you, Chris. There was a point my son and I were watching the duel in the farm shop on the TV, and he's going nuts. He's like, Dad, look, Chris Perry's out of his seat. He's going nuts. I'm like, Devin, son, Chris Perry is nuts. But there was obviously something that tripped his trigger. What was it in that Gaitan match that did you see the locked hands call? Is that what you were running to them to try and throw the brick?
Yeah. Everybody, what's funny is everybody's like, oh, they did it to give MJ a break so he could get the legs in and this and that. It really wasn't. It was locked hands. And
yeah.
I wanted to challenge it because I didn't like that that we got rode a little bit, and I didn't know how long it was going to go. I mean, was he going to ride us for 30 seconds or was he going to ride us for 20? So I kind of got to it a little bit late, but I had like 5 or 6 people like immediately text me on the whistle start that he locked his hand. And then I had one of our guys run out of the stands. They're like, he locked his hands 100%. And so we threw it out there. It ended up working out because it kind of gave MJ a reset, and he was supposed to throw the legs in early in the match, and it didn't work out for him. He never got him in, and I was like, well, if we're going to do it, this is perfect timing. Because we knew Kennedy was going to sit to his butt, and it ended up being great timing. It made us look way smarter than we were. We didn't throw it to give him a break or anything. We actually thought there was locked hands, and there was when you go back and watch it. We didn't have I don't know what the camera angle looked like. I mean, I rewatched it on ESPN. It's really hard to see, but it's on the whistle start. I kind of listened to Willie Saylor and Bosch's podcast today. They're like, he locked his hands 100%. So
yeah, I saw it right away. I saw it.
Yep.
So. I was surprised that, I mean, again, I'm surprised on how a 30-second overtime period, and then you throw out the brick and then it's too late. It's like, how fast did you need to throw it?
Well, like I said, listen, it's so chaotic in that moment. We don't know if to throw it or is he going to ride him out or is he going to get out? Like we couldn't really.
Yeah, but if you were able to throw it at the moment that you thought it happened, like there's no time. It was,
you're not paying attention. That 30-second ride out, you're waiting for the whole 30 before you throw it.
Yeah, I didn't understand that ruling, but that was a great match. Obviously, 33 was a really good match, and a good like opportunity to kind of break through for Frost to beat Ayala, and to do it in a very fundamental way. Like he looked good.
His first time down to weight. We played our cards a little different this year with him, and I think it paid off. We didn't rush him down, and I don't mean rush him down. It's just like, does he really need to wrestle 133 at the Cyclone Open? Does he really need to wrestle 133 against Nebraska Kearney? We need him to get ready and just kind of shorten his season a little bit at making 33. And even, I don't know what we're going to go from there, but get him matches in still. Like we wrestled him at 41 a little bit, and he went on like, kind of don't make him think I got 6 months of making this, and kind of just shorten it. And I think that really helped, because normally he, at the beginning of the year, he's big. I mean, he cuts a lot of weight, and he could be a 41 pounder. He could be really good at 41, but we obviously, it's not best for our team. But I think the big deal with those guys, they're great. I mean, they're unbelievably tough kids. They're from Louisiana. We're walk-ons, basically, came to Iowa. Mom basically of 5 boys by herself, and she's tougher than nails, and those kids are tough. She don't give them an inch. So they're great guys to have. I think the number one thing is with Evan is that was the one he needed to get over the hump. Him and Drake. I mean, people don't realize a lot of these guys that wrestled this weekend, like those two used to train together at Seabolt. So it's like they know each other, and it's a hard. I mean, they hung out this summer. It's like, okay, here we go in the biggest duel meet, and if I upset you, we're gonna win the duel maybe. So it was definitely a huge swing match because when we looked at it on paper like everybody did, we thought we had to have 25 and 49, and it didn't happen. And that's normally how these duels go. You think you got the answers, and you don't.
Did you feel like like I obviously I knew that they trained together at Seabolt, that they're training partners. Did you feel like when Drake chose not to go underneath?
I was really shocked. That was actually, I hate to say it, it was stupid. And that's just, I'm not even gonna say what I want to say, but it was, what's the point? What's he gonna do? Right? You have to go to overtime. Like, he was probably gonna cut you. Like, it made no sense. Now, if it was the second period and it was tied up or something, maybe I get it. But what was the point?
You think he knows Frost's top game is tough as nails?
He never got rode by him. I mean, he's always got away from him. He's, when you're at that type of level, like a Drake guy, who's a 2-time national finalist, you're not getting rode by the guy that's not a national. I mean, you better be a really guy on top, like the best of the best. Because it didn't make sense, because right after he got taken down, he got right away.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Did it matter? I don't know. Maybe he was juiced a little bit or tired. I was kind of surprised by that big time.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, when you look at like Cy-Hawk and you look at coaching staffs, like that everybody on the coaching staffs except yourself is an Iowa Hawkeye collegiately.
Yeah.
What's it like as the Oklahoma State guy at Iowa State, right? When your entire staff's an Iowa Hawkeye as an athlete, dude, the videos and like some of the press conferences over the years of seeing like the Brands and Dresser or Brands Metcalf, St. John always appears to be so quiet and respectful and polite. Metcalf as a coach seems very different than the person that we were like in love with as like fans. Watching Metcalf, the athlete, you were like, this is amazing. What is this guy's crazy? He's going to kill somebody. It was awesome. He was just so, but then they're so peaceful. Dresser's very respectful, but he's also intense. What's it like sitting there watching these old Hawkeyes? You're not watching, you're coaching, but at the same time, you've got to be noticing it.
Yeah. The kind of cool thing with me is my brother was at Iowa, so I was around. I got to see how the Brands did things and how they operated when I'd go watch practice. So I see how they do it, and I see now I've been with these guys. The one thing that it's probably been the greatest thing that ever happened to me is getting around new people, like in different personalities. It's like when I was at Oklahoma State, everybody's stuck in their own way a little bit with like, oh, we got to do it John's way, and it's like these guys have really evolved. Like Metcalf, you'd be mind blown after watching him wrestle. He's like the goofiest, funniest guy, but when it comes to wrestling match, it's like super intense. But off the mat, you're like, there's no way that's the same guy that wrestled. Like, it doesn't even make sense. And Derek's actually probably more serious and intense than Metcalf outside of the room. Just he's quiet, but he just keeps to himself. He's he's really, really good. That's what really shocked me is these guys are they've learned to adapt really well from being like Iowa. Back then there was some Iowa versus the world and kind of hard nose play, like we're tougher than everybody. These guys are good people. They've learned to relate to kids. They've learned that there's another side to things. We can't just coach how we were coached at Iowa. We got to adapt, and each athlete, when you inherit a team like they did that was 50th place, you're going to have to adapt. You can't coach the same way, and that's what I had to learn when I got here. Is it's like I can't coach the same way I did at Oklahoma State. Like, I have to adapt and change, and everybody, like, I got to find my own character or my own identity, but I got to also work with these guys and buy into their plan too a little bit. Like, a little bit of the Iowa is there. And it's like I said, to be honest with you, I'm more Iowa probably than I was Oklahoma State, the way that I think and the way that I thought. So that helps for sure.
Yeah, that's a very, very interesting perspective of how it almost like forced them to pull themselves away from how they were taught and to kind of have success. It's a very, very interesting, because again, it's so easy when, say some other programs are having success and then they're required, the expectation is to continue. They're not going to adapt or change because it's like, this is what got you to the dance. So we're just going to double down. And yeah, that's it. Yeah, you can definitely see it. And again, guys like, Nate Carr or, Carr, he's not that type of a guy. And you can tell that, I remember watching a video of him and Metcalf drilling for like 30 minutes or something like that. And you could tell it's not the same. It's a totally flowy, he's evolved. Yeah, he's got a lot of stuff to offer. So
Yeah, it's been great for sure.
well, guys, I mean, we're excited. We're excited to be kind of close to proximity to the Iowa State crew, and hopefully we get to see a lot of duels in the future and support the program, and maybe some Illinois kids will continue to follow out there. Jim, Ealer, Stuart, you got anything else for Chris?
I got one more question.
Yep.
When you were growing up, to me, like, your family's probably, it's one of the most interesting families in wrestling history. The greatness, the different personality types, the journeys, the paths. It's two parts. First part, did you ever think about going to Blair?
No, I was not that. Definitely not me. That's not for me.
You were Stillwater all day.
Yeah, I played football too. My brother, he went to Blair. He wasn't ever supposed to go to Blair. It was supposed to be, I'm going up there to train, and then he did an interview without telling anybody. And then Buxton called and was like, "Hey," and my mom was like, "This is not happening," and she's still mad to this day about it. So and then it ended up happening. But it wasn't supposed to. It was never a deal. It was just like, "Oh, I'm going to go up there and train for a week," and then he did his own deal. And he's a wild man. He'll go do interviews and all kinds of stuff like that. And he applied for school without telling anybody, and so it was definitely that. But no, I would never go to Blair. I played football. I had my friends. Mark's kind of if you know Mark's like a lone ranger. He kind of floats. He don't need too much. I would kind of had my family, and he likes to experience life and just go with it.
Before that second question, what position?
I played tailback. Yep.
And did you play all 4 years in high school?
Yeah. I actually considered playing in college. I was pretty good. I mean, I had the state rushing record for a while, and then it was just fun. I don't know. I mean, once it came down to the thick of it, I'm like, listen, I've been to the national tournament 30 or 20 years in a row my whole life. Like, I got to do this. Like,
was that big football stadium there when you were there?
No, it wasn't. We were out by the damn train track in some grass field.
Dang.
Yeah. No, now it's new. It's nice. And
yeah, you drive in, you think it's part of the university, and it's like it's just the high school.
Yeah, there's some nice stadiums in Oklahoma. Like, I mean, I know Tulsa Union where we used to play. It was nicer than Oklahoma State's for a while.
Yeah. All right, Mark, what's your next one?
Obviously, like, your dad was a two-time All-American.
Yeah.
And then you got these uncles, your mom's brothers.
Mm-hmm.
When you were coming up in youth wrestling, were you coached primarily by your dad, or was like Pat, Leroy? There's so many Smiths that were also really good. Like, who was coaching you?
So it kind of, when I grew up, they do a pretty good job in Stillwater when I was growing up, and I'm not sure it's the same anymore now that David Taylor's there, but basically, like, Cormier's and Jamil Kelly's and those guys were my coaches. So they would make like the senior level guys that are training come coach the youth club. And John, I mean, it was a great deal, right? I mean, you got those guys that are training for the Olympics. But no, my dad, they were so busy. My dad didn't really get involved with me until high school. It was kind of nice. It was really nice because once he got involved, it was like Rocky training. And but it was having the Jamil and those guys. I had, I'm trying to think. I've had Coleman Scotts, guys like, they're coaching the Little League program. I think your kids are in pretty good hands. And I think that was what we always did. It was kind of a little feeder program. We always had somebody pretty good taking to these tournaments, but I didn't wrestle a ton. I mean, wrestling's evolved so much now. You either do it 12 months out of the year, or you're gonna fall behind. It used to be when I did it, you could do it 3 months or 4 months and get away with it. Or you could pop in at Fargo and win it. Now, if you're not training freestyle all the way to Fargo, you're not placing. So it's a lot of wrestling's changed. The youth program there was really good, and I don't know what it's like anymore. I think Scott's running that farm out there, and I think he's kind of helping with the youth program now. I don't know if there's any college guys working it anymore or not.
Yeah. Well, I do think from what I've seen, I see a lot of the college guys go to the farm and run clinics and stuff like that. And I
Yeah.
think a little bit about that. This does bring up a question. I wanted to ask you if you look back into your entire like high school and below career, like coming up, what was the single greatest like year of your development, whether it was wrestling or both wrestling and mental?
You know, it's always probably when you win 4 state titles, it's always your freshman year because it's the hardest one. And you know, like you actually got to get your ass out there and work. Like you're not going to kill everybody. Or you know, after my freshman year, it was. I mean, there wasn't anybody within 10 points. But my freshman year, I thought I was invincible. I was going to be the next 4-timer undefeated, and I went to a regional tournament, and I got a guy that was. Had like 1 loss, but a senior and a big old strong ass dude. And what was made it even worse is he was from Del City, and that's where all my parents and John and all them grew up. So when I lost him, I didn't hear the end of it. You know, I got beat in the finals. I got taken down. I panicked. I hadn't been taken down all year, and it happened, and I took the life out of it. I mean, I was in shock and looking around and like what happened, and then the guy kind of held me off, but. Then I got him in the state finals the next week, and I ended up I got the flu. I got really sick. I was like 5 pounds underweight, and I'm like, I just lost this guy last week, and I'm sicker than shit. And I'm not very tough when I'm sick or hurt, you know, which is crazy. I mean, some people can handle pain tolerance. I'm like the guy that's like, I'm dying, you know, a little bit dramatic when it happens, but and then I beat him, and it just showed me, you know, like how to go through adversity a little bit. And how to handle it at a young age. You know, like I could not be a 4-timer because I'm out here with the flu, and this guy's beat me before. And so it really helped me, I think, that year. And then probably my sophomore year, I mean, just any times I got battle tested. My sophomore year, I forgot a kid moved in from New Mexico, and he was good. And I beat him like 3-2, and he was the big hype match of the tournament. This guy was going to OU. And so just those moments I got tested, I think it really made me learn, like, okay, when you're uncomfortable or like when shit gets hard, who are you? And I think that was probably the moment. And just failing, I think the times I failed, I didn't win Fargo until I was a junior in high school, and I was devastated. You know, as an 8th grader, I went to Fargo and I drew Kirk Smith, the national finalist, and then I drew every guy that won Fargo like 4 times. I drew them back to back, and I was 0-2. And I lost in the clinch both matches, and they both went first, or one of them won it, and the other one got 3rd. So it was like I could have won the tournament if I'd have won, or I got beat out 0-2. So you just learn a lot about it, you know, just figuring it out. But definitely development in high school, I think it all comes from just adversity. You know, the moments that get harder. You know, I've talked to even Jimmy about this, like not going and placing at Fargo might have been the best thing that ever happened to you. I mean, when you look down the road, like you got a chip on your shoulder, and now you haven't lost since. Like you've actually controlled every match since then. You know, you've changed a lot of things, and I think those are the big moments, and you remember them. You know, and I think that's definitely a pivotal moment in his high school career. I look at it as a coach. I think that was a big moment for him.
Yeah, I would agree. I say it a lot to Jim. Logs on the fire. Logs on the fire. Well, guys, you guys. I don't think we should ask Chris any more questions. Otherwise, we'll be here a couple more hours. We'll definitely have him back on. Okay, Dustin, you got one.
Yeah. So do you roll with a motley crew? I mean, literally an entourage. Like I've seen the little camp that you had. That Bachman guy is just a freak. I mean, he is a specimen. Does he drink HGH instead of water or what?
No, he's from Alaska. He's always been a thick biscuit. We cut him to 84. I told him, you're too short to be that thick.
He's like the eighth. He's the 8th wonder of the world to me, man. Not gonna lie.
Ealer's got the hots for him.
He's something else. He's a thick dude. So I think he's actually going to be. I talked to him. I think he's going to go into the Army Rangers. So he's right up that alley.
You could tell that he's a brawler like that. Yep.
Yeah. Well, Chris, we appreciate you coming on and chatting, and yeah, awesome stuff. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, awesome, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Chris is way calmer on a podcast than he is in a chair as a dual meet or the NCAA tournament.
I don't think he spends much time in a chair, does he, Stewie?
Dude, he does like I've seen him do like the double where he grabs the chair and he's like rocks and he's like, because they hit you now. They come after you for getting out of the chair. So I've seen him hold the chair to keep his derriere in it, but he's going batshit crazy, which is awesome. But on a podcast, he's so much more calmer.
Yeah.
No,
Well-
Perry's fun. That's the calmest I've ever seen him. Right. I've never seen him not sweating either.
Yeah.
Sweating.
Well, let's go around the table, close it out. What's your closing thoughts?
That like every time we have somebody on, I'm thinking, damn, they were good. Like Perry's got he's transparent. He's that's gonna be a hard one to follow. Like I don't know who the next coach is on, but that's gonna be a hard one to. It's gonna be a hard act to follow.
Ealer,
Iowa State RTC's in good hands.
Yeah.
Stuart.
I don't think it was enough. I mean, we could have that guy on for 3 hours. If you're a wrestling junkie and you understand the Perry Smith family, we talk about lineage and tradition and history, something you and Dustin are going to touch on when you bring on some of these, the Priestons, and we look back at some of these careers. Like, that's the family of families in wrestling, right? There's going to be another Perry. There's going to be another Smith, because the Smiths all had kids too. And it's just interesting to understand the backstory. I would love to hear some more of the craziness, because I don't care what anybody says. You're going to be great at this sport.
You got to be crazy.
You got to be obsessed. You've got to be selfish, and you got to come from I've never met the one that came from no crazy. There's always some crazy in those houses that creates that type of person that is that elite. That like he didn't even talk about it, but I'm pretty sure Chris won 2 junior world medals, right? But he said he went 0-2 barbecued at Fargo, right? How crazy is that? But that's how he matched up, right? That was his draw. And that can happen. But what I found interesting was just, and I say this all the time, but like you can hate a person as a competitor, right? Like in your mind, you create a hatred so that you could beat this guy. Like you see that with the Oklahoma State-Iowa rivalry for years. You see it with the Iowa State. But like Chris said, like coming to Iowa State was the best thing for him, because he was forced to adapt and change. And you get around these other personality types and you have a different respect for him now as a coach, as a peer, as a friend, when for years they were the enemy, right? And just the way he spoke of Dresser, St. John, Metcalf, and what they're doing over at Iowa State, I thought I like that. That's what I got the most out of it.
And I would concur. I agree with that. I loved hearing about the thoughts of evolution, of having to change your approach because of the situation, and that forcing you to evolve your coaching style. I've done a lot of evolving in my coaching style and how I think about coaching and how I approach coaching. And so I'm super grateful to hear him say that, because I feel even more comfortable and confident with young Jimmy Massney headed out there, and I'm excited for those 5 years. So, but yeah, great podcast, loved it, guys. We'll catch up either soon before the Donnybrook or after the Donnybrook. Either way, good stuff tonight.